This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. We're up to Siman Lamed Ches, Sif Yud Beis. Siman Lamed Ches, Sif Yud Beis. Hayotzarach Tefillin u'Mezzuzos v'Yadam Asagas Liknais Shnehem. You needed both. You needed Tefillin and Mezzuzos, and you don't have enough to purchase both. Which mitzvah is more important? It says Mechaber Tefillin Koidmim. Why would that be? Why would Tefillin be a more important mitzvah than Mezzuzah? Says Mishna Berura, Dihi mitzvah shebegufai. It's a mitzvah on your body. So who cares? So what? Both of them you have to do. So the Dirsha brings from the Beis Hillel that the Tefillin are a malbish on your guf, and they're koidel mezuzah that are not placed on the guf, but on the bias. But Rabbi Kiveger has a different understanding. Rabbi Kiveger says Tefillin is a mitzvah hamutelas al gufai. Wherever you are, you can't exempt yourself. However, mezuzah is not an absolute chiyuv. Who said you have to build a house? You could live in a tent. Mitzvah shebegufay, the advantage is not that it's on your body. The advantage is that you're mechuyev to do it. There's no way out, as opposed to mezuzah. You don't have to have a house, or you could borrow a house or rent a house. It's only if you have a house you're chayv mezuzah. V'oid, the Mishna Berura says, the kedusha tefillin l'mal kedusha mezuzah. The kedusha of tefillin is greater than that of mezuzah. He brings from Shlomo Kluger, even tefillin shel yad takes precedence from mezuzah. What if you already have one tefillah, and now it's a question between the second tefillah and mezuzah? So that's a suffix. That's an interesting suffix. Okay. So the kedusha of tefillin is greater than the mezuzah. Kedal elbas ben lamed beis ches miula didan she'im manichin rak b'shas kriya shema tefillah. But for us, that we only put on tefillin for kriya and tefillah, so then this halacha changes. You know why? Because what you could do is buy a mezuzah and borrow tefillin. Im efshar b'sheila mezuzah kademasi efshar b'sheila. You can't borrow mezuzah, you could borrow tefillin. Again, it's not a great idea to borrow tefillin. That's he brings from the Shari Tshuva that would only be if you're confident that you could borrow it whenever you need it, but if you're not confident, that's not considered efshar b'sheila. But he brings from the Pischei Tshuva on Yoredeya that even if you're mesupik, maybe you could borrow it. It's better to buy a mezuzah because they ain't suffik moitzah midei vadai. Okay, again, I would add that efshar b'sheila is only if you're confident you could get a pair of tefillin that fit you. Okay, Sif Yud Gimel. Menuda u'mitzara asur laniach tefillin. Someone who's in cherem is, or a mitzara, it's asur to put on tefillin. I was going to say that anyone who's menuda also should not be on the Zoom share. Okay, so I'm just letting you know now. Anyone who's in cherem should not be on the share. So I was just thinking, if someone's a mitzara, they have to go michutz hamachaneh. Are you allowed to go on to Zoom? The purpose of a mitzara is badad yeshev michutz hamachaneh. Could you make phone calls? Could you go on Zoom? Okay, just wondering. So why can't you wear tefillin? Says Mishna Berura, menuda mitzara ayin belechem chamudas v'shach b'yardeh siman shin lamadalad sif beis v'shar yachreinim de poiskim lehepach. In the lechem chamudas, the shach and other achronim, they pass in the opposite. Because of Prima Gadim, the Anichu B'li Bracha. Prima Gadim says he should wear tefillin without a bracha. Ava mibir hagra mashnal chayra that tzrich levarach gamkein. Why would a menuda or mitzara not wear a tefillin? What would the logic of that be? Again, it doesn't seem like we paskin like this halach in the Mechaber. He says that it's a shaila in the Beragolis. It's a shaila in Moed Katan, and the Bal Ha'itur asers. Okay, so that concludes Siman Lamed Ches. With your permission, that will be one day, and we're going to start now as a separate segment, Siman Lamed Ches. Okay, here we go.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.